Today's topic is sentences and types of sentences. Before beginning, let's first understand what is a sentence. Look at these words: written, essay, rhetoric, and has. Are they making any sense? No, they are not. What if I put them in an order or identify subject and predicate, or in other words, noun phrase or verb phrase? Here I get a sentence. Rithwik has written an essay. It's a complete sentence where subject is Rithwik and predicate has written an essay. Sentences can be defined as a group of words that are put together to mean something. It is a basic unit of language that expresses a complete idea. We write sentences to make statement, to command, to ask questions, and sometimes we even write sentences to express emotion.
Every sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. The subject is the who or what the sentence is about, and the predicate tells us what the subject does. Actually, subject is noun-based part of the sentence and predicate is verb-based part of the sentence. Let's explore how that works in the context. Look at these examples. The big green frog jumped across the log. Here, subject is the big green frog and predicate is jumped across the log. Subject is noun based part of the sentence and noun is frog here, and predicate is verb based part of the sentence, which is jumped. So what did the frog do? Jumped across the log. Same way we can identify subject and predicate in the next sentence. My sweet grandmother. Grandmother is noun here and it is the subject, and vor verb and it is a predicate. We can identify subject and predicate by identifying noun and verb. The old shack, subject, blew over in the wind, predicate. There are some guidelines which are mandatory in case of sentences in English. Let's explore that. A new sentence begins with a capital letter. He finished his work. First letter should be capital. A sentence ends with punctuation. He finished his work. Punctuation can be a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. And then a sentence contains a subject that is only given once, as he is given, so we will not take Smith. If you will take Smith, then you will not take he. So once again I'll repeat, a sentence contains a subject that is only given once. A sentence contains a verb or a verb phrase. There is a pattern in sentence that says subject, verb and object. So there should be a verb or verb phrase in a sentence. There are four common types of sentences in English. Each sentence type has a different purpose. In this lesson today, we will look at all four of them, their uses and their punctuations. Let's just know about them first. A declarative sentence is an ordinary sentence which gives a statement and it ends with a period. An interrogative sentence is a curious sentence which is used to ask questions and it ends with a question mark. An imperative sentence is a bossy sentence which is used to give commands, suggestions, warnings, and sometimes request also. It ends with a period and sometimes with an exclamation mark also. And an exclamatory sentence is an excited sentence which is full of emotion and it ends with an exclamation mark. Let's learn about each one of them in detail. First type of sentence which we are going to discuss is declarative sentences. It is the most common type of a sentence. Look at these examples. I like riding my bicycle around the park. My essay is better than yours. Purpose of such sentences is to give information, to make a statement, or to state an opinion. In the first sentence, I like riding my bicycle around the park, is to make a statement. It comes under this category. My essay is better than yours is an opinion. Punctuation, which we use in declarative sentences, is period. These sentences always end with a period. Actually, these kind of sentences tell the reader something without excitement or strong emotions. Declarative sentences can be positive or negative. Declarative sentences can be further classified into two categories, positive or negative. Positive sentences which have positive meaning are also called affirmative sentences. These kind of sentences tell us what something has, does, or is, and negative sentences are opposite to affirmative sentences. Let's look at some examples. The balloon is red. The baby is crying. In contrast to these, the balloon is not blue. The baby is not happy. So these ones are affirmative sentences where the verb is positive, and these ones are negative sentences where the verb is negative. So basically, affirmative sentences tell us what something has, does, or is, and negative sentences tell us what something has not, does not, or is not. Second type of sentence is interrogative sentences. The purpose of interrogative sentences is to ask a question. We ask questions to get information. These sentences always end with a question mark. Look at these examples of interrogative sentences. Why are you late? What time is it? Where is the library? In English, questions often begin with interrogative words like who, when, where, why, what, how. But it's not true in every case. Look at the next sentence. Have you reached there in time? There is no interrogative word like who, when, where, why, what, and how. Interrogative sentences without question words are generally formed by moving the helping verb before the subject. Like helping verb have is moved before the subject you. In some cases, a question fragment is added onto the end of a declarative sentence. This fragment is called a tag or a tail question. Let's look at some examples. You have answered all the questions on this test, haven't you? This haven't you is a tag or a tail question which is coming after a declarative sentence. Close the window. Will you? Again a tail question which is coming after an imperative sentence. What? You lost your wallet? You are late? Why? This question fragment can also be used by itself either before or after a sentence. Have you ever wondered what to do in case of indirect questions? Do they come under interrogative sentences or declarative statements? Let's see the difference. Indirect speech. The driver said to us, do you know which way to turn? So you can clearly see that from here to here, it is a direct question and it is ending with a question mark. But when we will change this into an indirect speech, the driver asked if we knew which way to turn. Now it is ending with a period, which is symbolic in case of declarative statements. So here we need to notice that sometimes the question is indirect. As we change the speech from direct to indirect, the question also becomes indirect. And remember that indirect question is a declarative statement. Next type of sentence is imperative sentence. It gives a command, a request, advice, a suggestion, a warning, or a wish. and they can be followed by a period or exclamation mark. Let's look at some example. Be quiet, command. Please have a seat, a request. Be careful while playing, a suggestion. Enjoy yourselves, a wish. The subject of an imperative sentence is usually the understood you. It is always implied. Turn to page 37. So first person is talking to the second person and second person is always you. So subject is implied here. It is understood you. Some imperative sentences can be very short or even one word to express a forceful command. Please sit down. Request. Read pages 45 to 90 for homework. Command. You should wear gloves outside. Advise. Let's eat the picnic under the tree. Suggestion. Be quiet. Command. Watch out for the dog. Warning. Now look at this sentence carefully. Will you please mind your manners? It is ending with a question mark, but it is not an interrogative sentence. Imperative sentences may be written like a question, but they are not asking anything. This sentence is not asking anything. It is an imperative sentence only. As I just told you that imperative sentences can be followed by an exclamation or a period. But when to use what? Look at these sentences carefully. Sit down. Please sit down. Come here. Please come here. Stop fighting. Stop fighting, please. When we say please in an imperative sentence, we usually use a period instead of exclamation mark. All these sentences are like requests, and these are forceful commands. So when we use please, we use period at the end, and when it is a forceful command, we use exclamatory mark after the sentence. The last type of sentences is exclamatory sentences. These are very common when we talk and in informal writing and stories. We usually do not use exclamatory sentences in formal writing, essay, reports, and non-fiction books. Look at the examples of exclamatory sentences. Wow, that magic trick was amazing. These sentences are used to express strong emotions or feelings, happiness, sadness, surprise, and we use exclamation mark at the end of exclamatory sentences. What wonderful weather we are having today. How lovely to see you. These sentences are like declarative sentences. The only difference is expression of feelings as they express strong emotions such as surprise or anger, sadness, happiness. Let's look at some examples which will show us the clear difference between declarative and exclamatory form of sentences. Declarative sentence, this truck is red. It's a simple sentence. That red truck is really big. Exclamatory, strong emotion. Today is Ben's birthday. It's a statement. Surprise! Happy birthday, Ben. Strong emotion. The zookeeper showed us a parrot. It's again a statement or to give information. Wow, that parrot is beautiful. Strong emotion. So this is the difference between declarative and exclamatory sentence. Hereby we come to an end of today's lecture. Let's take a quick recap. What is a sentence? Sentence is the basic unit of language that expresses a complete thought. Sentences have two parts, subject and predicate. Subject is noun-based part of the sentence and predicate is verb-based part of the sentence that a subject does. And we have also learnt about 4 types of sentences: declarative sentences, interrogative sentences, exclamatory sentences, and imperative sentences. Declarative sentences which tell something and it ends with period. Sia is taller than Preeti. It's telling us an information. Exclamatory sentence which is showing a strong emotion. What a beautiful dress! It is ending with an exclamation mark. Then comes interrogative sentence which asks a question and ends with a question mark. Have you understood the topic? And the last one is imperative sentence which gives a command and it ends with a period or an exclamation mark. Watch the video carefully.